Peace, infinite waters, diving deep once again. We're here. 10 extreme, bizarre, weird, unique phobias people actually have. You might be afraid of saying hello there. That's called hello there phobia. But I'm gonna do it because I'm not afraid. Can I get a hello there? Now, as a psychologist and counselor, I'm talking to people every day who have phobias. And all phobias emanate from externalizing our power, placing fear into objects. I'm gonna actually do a video on how to overcome any phobia in 30 days. Because phobias work through subconscious association. So let's go to some of these bizarre phobias. The first one is nomophobia. This is the fear of not having any mobile phone coverage. How many of us have experienced that fear? Oh my days, no coverage. You go to a park, you go to the beach, and there's no signal. Well, there's a lot of people that go through this every single day. It's bizarre because we have to remind ourselves in the last 20 years, we never had this problem. It's becoming an epidemic because so many of us, we are addicted to our mobile phones. So it's bizarre how a small device can literally put us all in such a massive state of fear. Okay? Nomophobia. Number 2. Let's talk about agoraphobia. This is the fear of crossing the street. I actually worked with a woman many years ago who had a fear of crossing the street. Now, this can come from really being exposed, that fear of being exposed in the open. Okay, because whenever we are crossing the road, there are so many variables at play. Cars are coming. So it's that fear of being exposed, being vulnerable. Number 3, sociophobia. Okay, this is the fear of being judged by society. Now, I feel that a lot of us, we have that, right? A lot of us, we're afraid to show our true colors. We're afraid to show our true authenticity to society because, let's face it, they're going to judge us. They're going to tell us things we may not want to hear. I always tell people whenever I'm counseling them that you have to become brave to become your greatest version. Let me repeat that. You have to become brave to become your greatest version. And as long as we are living up to society's expectations, we are always going to be in a state of perpetual fear. We have to ask ourselves, whose world are we living in? Number 4 is agoraphobia, emanating from the Greek. Literally, it means a fear of the marketplace. How many of us are afraid to go out into public, to go out to the marketplace and buy those greens and nuts and what else do they sell in the marketplace? But this is actually a real phobia, which I've counseled so many people. I've helped them overcome agoraphobia. And let's face it, whenever you're watching the news, what do they tell you about the world you're living in? It's not the friendliest place to live in. So it's no wonder why a lot of people prefer to be at home. It's no wonder why a lot of people are afraid of other people. But like I always say, You have to let love guide you and not fear. Number 5, somniphobia. Uh-oh. This is when you have this massive fear of, you guessed it, falling asleep. I think I experienced this phobia actually. How many of us, we're up all night and we're actually afraid to fall asleep? Well, this can emanate from being afraid to release fear. You see, all phobias emanate from a deeply rooted fear we have brushed under the carpet. You see, if we look at it in a very broad scale, a lot of us, we're afraid of going to sleep because we are afraid of waking up. So therefore, we have to ask ourselves, are we truly living the life we love in becoming our greatest versions? We have to ask ourselves, are we living our purpose? Because if you're not, well, you don't want to wake up. So of course you're going to be afraid of, you guessed it, going to sleep. Number 6, triskaidekaphobia. That is the fear of the number 13. Superstition. Oh yes. Friday the 13th. Do you know how many people are afraid of the number 13? But you see, if we look at it, the science of the number 13, the esoteric, deep-rooted meaning, we come to see that 13 actually is a symbol of transformation. Okay? 13 is where you leave the cycle. It is rebirth. So 13 in essence is a very powerful number. Once again, it's subconscious association. A lot of these films in Hollywood and whatnot, they can make us very fearful. Okay, the media can make us very fearful. But in overcoming phobias, which I'm going to go more into in the video, once again, you have to take 100% responsibility for your internal condition. What else? Number 7, spectrophobia. This is the fear of looking at yourself in the mirror. Do you like how you look? And I feel that this phobia, I've counseled so many people, I've helped them get through it, is so common because a lot of us, we don't love ourselves 100%. We don't accept ourselves 100%. We're waiting for the validation of how other people perceive us. I always talk of really being vulnerable. When you are vulnerable, you come to appreciate yourself. But many people have this phobia, and it emanates from not accepting yourself 100%. It always goes back into our childhood. So in healing ourselves, once again, we have to start learning how to love ourselves by placing ourselves in an environment that complements our own energy. Some of us, we're around the wrong kinds of people that trigger even more hateful attitudes towards ourselves. Watch the video, How to Stop Absorbing Other People's Energy. Then go and look in the mirror and say, I'm beautiful, baby. Oh yeah. Number 8, pediophobia. This is the fear of dolls. Dolls. Don't show me any dolls. Once again, Chucky, that film, okay? We get these programs. That's why it's called a television program, because you're being programmed through your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind, which is your whole body in essence, now creates a fear association with the image being transmitted through your retina. That is what creates a phobia. So when you have so many people who have a fear of dolls, which is, it's rare, but it's out there. Once again, some of these dolls, they look very real nowadays. Okay, have you seen some of the dolls they're making these days? They've got that little grin on their face. I don't blame anybody being afraid of that. I would be. Goodness gracious, you're giving that to a 3-year-old? You lost your mind? Really, once again, all fears emanate from the fear of really not addressing it. We're afraid to look at it, so we run away. But I'll go into that later. Number 9, Venustraphobia. This is the fear of beautiful women. What? And yes, a lot of men have this phobia, especially men with low self-esteem. How many of us along our journey have said, no, she is way out of my league? You see, the fear comes from not feeling worthy. The fear comes from externalizing your power. The fear comes from not loving yourself 100%. The fear comes from not being confident. What is confidence? Confidence is showing appreciation to yourself at all times. Confidence comes from trusting yourself at all times. And confidence, my friend, is like any other muscle. You've got to exercise it. You've got to believe in yourself. You've got to know that you are also handsome. So anytime you see a beautiful woman, my friend, go to her and say, hello there. Okay? You ain't got to be afraid of beauty. You've just got to embrace beauty. Number 10 is selenophobia, a fear of the moon. Now, when we talk of fear of the moon, why would you be afraid of the moon? Well, simply because many of us, we've heard stories about the moon. You see, once again, going back to subconscious association, the primal fear is always based around the elements around us. The sun, the moon. Okay? The moon often is a symbol and represents darkness. It often represents the unknown, the mysterious, the feminine energy, vampires, but also mystery. Okay? So many of us who have this phobia, Twilight, we are afraid many times of the uncertainty of life, the uncertainty that arises. Because the moon, especially a full moon, lunatic, can trigger off subconscious fears. You see? And that is why many people went crazy with the full moon. That is why the word exists today, lunatic. Always break down the etymology of the words and you will find the secret. Now, when we talk of this phobia, I always tell people that you have to realize that just as beautiful as the sun is, the moon is equally as beautiful. But once again, you have to start deleting everything you've been told about the moon and start seeing the moon in a whole new way. So there you have it. Those are some of the phobias where you might have one of them. I might have one of them. Okay? Don't worry about it. And let's face it, I think these days, I know actually, they're just making up phobias, right? Just place phobia at the end of anything. Phobophobia. That is the fear, yeah, you guessed it, of phobias. Have a wonderful day. We're here in the studio, Infinite Waters, diving deep. Once again, stay well, stay healthy. Peace.